James, we just had Jake on the pod. What'd you think? It was a therapy session for me, I think.
Yeah, you went deep on that one. But if you're on YouTube, getting into YouTube, doing anything with YouTube, then you got to listen to this episode. Jake is, I guess you could say, he's studied the art of YouTube titles. I mean, even to YouTube thumbnails to some extent, and even script writing and what keeps people on the video, and I guess the strongest signals within YouTube as well, and what he's done to grow his channels. So if you're into any of that, you need to make sure you listen to that and implement some of his findings.
Yeah, and I kind of feel bad. I was just talking about like what we should do the whole time. It was like a free consultation.
That's what podcasts are for.
Is it?
Yes, because then Jake gets to give you his expertise. So he's showing everyone his expert knowledge in the YouTube space, and then he gets more customers for his creator hooks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And that's true. And it was good to chat with people with just seeing what is working on YouTube, and good for him to kind of just shit on our channel. We'll see where we're gonna take it from here.
Yeah, no, exactly. Splitting the channel seems like a hard thing to do. So I think about my own channel too. I have podcasts and normal videos,
right?
And I'm like, I don't know how. Even if I did split it, then I have all these old podcasts, all these old videos on one channel, and then I'd have all. Yeah, I don't know, but I know that I am with my own channel starting a couple of other adjacent ones that are slightly different content, so it doesn't clash all in that same thing. So yeah, I like that idea of kind of having different channels for different styles of content.
Yeah. And guys, go join our private community where James and I chat shit all day.
Yeah, advise.so. You should get on there. Actually, there's a link in the description. Use that link down there. But it's a little community full of SEOs, digital marketers, people like you who are listening to the podcast. And the best thing is, it's not just a massive one-room community. There's multiple, I guess, channels, and there's even small groups that essentially, I think, Jack, you end up placing people into the groups there. So it's a small group of 5 to 10 people. You can basically share your domains and URLs and businesses and what you're doing there and be fully open with it and not worry about people stealing your ideas and trying to steal all your keywords and domains and things like that. So it's a place where you can kind of bounce ideas off, see if anyone else is doing what you're doing or has been through what you're struggling with. And that's kind of the big benefit of that community, but it is heavily vetted. So you can't just join. You'll go through a vetting process first, and then you get a discount code, and then you'll be in.
Yeah. And link and discount code is in the description. So check it out. Please apply. Dude, the application backlog right now is like 400 people.
No way.
So we have to filter it. Yeah, it's a lot of people, dude.
Holy shit.
But that's just application, right? So not all of them will come through. A lot of them will be rejected. And
but that's still a lot of leads.
Yeah, man. But we'll see if they actually come through. It's gonna be tough.
Sweet.
Sick. Listen to the pod. It was fun. I feel bad for just talking about ourselves the whole time. So let us know if you like it. Thanks, guys. What's good, everyone? It's Jacky Chow.
And this is James DeLacy.
And you're listening to This Week in Digital Marketing. All right, welcome to This Week in Digital Marketing. My name is Jacky Chow. My co-host is James DeLacy, and we have a special guest on today, Jake Thomas from Creator Hooks, I believe.
Yep.
Why don't you give the audience a quick intro about yourself?
Yeah. So I'm Jake Thomas. I write a newsletter. It's a weekly newsletter about YouTube titles called Creator Hooks. It's all about the psychology of what makes a good YouTube title. And it is about YouTube, but I've used a lot of the strategies for to rank in Google, for email subject lines, for Twitter threads. So I'm really just like a psychology nerd, and just trying to figure out what makes people click online.
Gotcha. And is this your full-time gig? Is there anything else brewing behind the scenes? So all I could see is Creator Hooks online with attached to your name.
Technically, I have 3 businesses. Creator Hooks makes up about half. And then I've got a faceless YouTube channel that I started in February as a kind of like a case study. and that's doing well.
Nice.
And then I have like a dog blog and a dog YouTube channel, kind of a little brand that I started a couple years ago, and that was doing well. Except the new channel and creator hooks were bigger opportunities, so that stuff is kind of on the back end now.
Nice. For those who don't know in the audience, could you give a brief a bit more info on what a faceless YouTube channel is?
Yeah, so it's essentially it is what it is. It's a YouTube channel where you don't show your face. So I work with an editor, and he gets a lot of it's probably like 90% of it is like stock video. So I write the script, I record the audio, I send the script and the audio to him, along with maybe a couple clips of B-roll that I get, and then he clips it all together into a video, and adds music, adds sound effects and stuff, but and then I publish it on YouTube. So it is pretty simple, but there's no moat, so you gotta kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah, I jumped in this world too, and I actually just signed up for an AI voiceover software to do the script, to do the voiceover, because it's so much. Dude, I looked on Fiverr. Have you seen how much some of those voiceover artists charge?
Yeah,
it's like
it's crazy,
$20+ per 100 words, things like that. I'm like, dude, there's no way. And the AI voiceover is actually legit as. So I got one that sounds like the Showtime Sports All Access boxing guy. So I got that, and then I've got my writer that does the scripts, and then I've just hired a full-time video editor. I'm gonna get him to do the videos now, because I was actually paying an agency before, but man, the agencies are expensive. And they use a lot of the same tools anyway.
Yeah. Have you created a video with your AI voice yet?
No, that will be coming soon. So I've got the previous ones published from the previous agency, but now I'm going to publish with this AI voice and everything else and get it going. But it's always a mission because a lot of it is like, I guess you could say, sports highlights. So getting around copyright is going to be probably near impossible, but we'll see. It'll be a good little experiment to see what happens.
Yeah, that'll I'm eager to hear how it goes. I mean, obviously, like a lot of people do it, but I don't know anything about that, and I'm not trying to tread in unclear waters when it comes to copyright.
Yeah, I know there's my writer does some scripts for some other big channels within like very big sports. I guess very big sports was very big networks. So for example, like the NFL, and it's not in football, but he was saying that the channel has like millions of views, but the guy can't do it full time because the actual network takes like the majority of the cut of the revenue, so he can use the clips. So there's always that to play with too.
Yeah. I'm trying to create, at least original content when it comes to like the script. But yeah, all this stuff is stock footage. So like I have licenses for that, and same with the music. I got a ding in one of my old channels, and nothing really happened. But this might have been me like imagining it, but I feel like I got shadow banned because like those next like 3 months just sucked. They also kind of paired with me publishing less frequently and like kind of publishing kind of boring videos. So it was most likely that, but I did feel. I did have a feeling that Google or that YouTube was just kind of like, slapped me on the wrist a little bit.
Yeah, I think I've noticed that before. When you get dinged, like your reach gets dropped. It's pretty insane. So
Jacky,
whole business. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you in do you have any faceless channels? I know you've got some websites, and I was reading your monthly breakdown. You got a lot.
Yeah, I do have a lot going on. I do have one, I believe. It's in the architecture niche. So it is faceless, but it's also been like striked before, and the views tanked. I don't mind revealing it. It's about like celebrity homes. I'm sure you've seen those on YouTube. And I have a couple in like the couple 100K range, and like a couple in like the sub 50K range, and then like a ton between 1 to 10K. I remember the first video I ever posted. it went to 50K immediately. Second video went to 300K. And I was like, yo, this is over. I figured it out. Like, it's over.
You got it.
Like, yeah, see you on the moon. And then the next 20 I did was like 300 views. And I was like, okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm gonna try to slow down here, because I think I was paying like $100 per video, because it has an actor, also an editor, so on and so forth. So I actually couldn't make it work personally. So I was very curious about like the business model of these faceless YouTube channels. Are they primarily for like YouTube search, or are they typically for like the organic side, similar to TikTok, where they push with the algorithm? It's like suggested on the homepage.
Yeah, for mine, suggested homepage and recommended. Like probably 85% of my views come from browse. And so it's kind of like edutainment a little bit, a little bit more towards the education. I don't know. It's a mix of both, not highly actionable educational content, but someone, just kind of chilling, wanting to, learn, mindless facts, is kind of where I'm going. So I don't, it obviously depends on, what your business model is, but mine is, it's just AdSense. I might do sponsorships later. I assumed that Amazon affiliates would do well. And so I had Amazon affiliate links in all of my, my first maybe like 5, 6, 7 videos. And then one video went crazy viral, and I made $10,000 from AdSense, and I made $200 from Amazon affiliates. So,
The same video.
Yeah, same video. Same video. So now I don't even think about Amazon affiliates anymore. I don't want to get people off of the platform and potentially hurt my reach. I'm just going all in on AdSense right now.
Interesting. I didn't know you can get up that high for per video. I guess it's also industry dependent, right?
Yeah,
so I guess I think an example, a high RPM or CPM model would be something in the finance niche, right? So for example, if you do, I don't know, 5-minute recaps of a finance book, I guess that would do pretty well with like some like cute animations in the back. But so with these, I guess you figured out the YouTube algorithm, right? It's what would you say is like the highest
I
signal?
think about the YouTube algorithm like this: click and stick. The only two things I'm worried about: getting people to click and getting people to stick. I think I got that from either Pat Flynn or Chris Cornell. I didn't come up with it myself, but yeah, I'm really thinking about it very simply. That's the only two things that I ever worry about.
Sure. So I guess what that means is if they browse, they click, and then they finish the video, that's like a huge, what is it called? Is a huge like positive signal.
Yeah.
What about external traffic? So if it's not from browse, it's external, but you finish it, because that's easily abused, right?
I guess so. So on my previous channel, I've seen this happen a couple times, where you'll kind of start off getting a couple views, and all of a sudden just like some massive spike, and it's external, and it says it's coming from Google, but I think it's actually bots, because my my average view duration will just tank, and all of a sudden, like, the video is kind of blowing up, and then it totally drops off. I'm not getting any more traffic after that. I have a lot of people say that the different algorithms, so like the browse and the search and the external, all those algorithms are all kind of separate. But every time I've had a video blow up on external, which might be either bots or ranking on Google, that's been like the end of the video. It's very slow growth after that. So that happened in one of my old channels. Like my best video ever was like 1 out of 10 by far. On day 2, it got hit with whatever that is, and that was it. And it sucked after that.
Whoa. Huh. Interesting. And I guess your videos, you don't really optimize for YouTube search at all, right? It's I guess it's not zero, but it's not significant most of the time. Is what I'm
Yeah, I mean,
guessing.
currently, I don't think about search at all. Um,
Hmm.
I think it depends. Like since mine, my video is about like mindless facts. Um, there's no intent. There's no potential. I could sell like a course or something, but I don't think it would be that high. I think I'd be better off. If I sold a course, um, I would spend a couple weeks on it, or spend a lot of money. But I feel like I'd be better off just investing all of that money into content and just keep it simple and just get as many as many views as I can. Maybe do sponsorships, but obviously, like if you're a real estate agent, like best homes, if you can rank for like best neighborhoods in Toronto, then you're going to make a lot of money from that.
Hmm.
But that is
Yeah.
not that's not my game. I'm just looking for people who are chilling on the couch, chilling in bed, just looking for some cheap entertainment.
Yeah. Gotcha. And when you come up with the script, do you keep in mind like you have to keep the listeners or watchers engaged at all times? Like you keep hooking them so they don't drop off. Is that like something in mind, or do you write it like a normal blog post and then just read it?
I keep that top of mind all the time.
Damn,
That's
that's
like the
probably
number that's the number one thing that I'm thinking about. What I've recently done is I've looked at my retention, and I did a little like like a mini like study on where I see more than 2% drops. And so I looked at like 10 videos, and it's like, all right, cool, there's a drop here, and I noted what was going on. There's a drop here, and then there was like 5 or 6 things that I do all the time, and those always led to drops. And one of those things is
Mm.
like when I'm not giving them value, like when I'm saying, like talking about like commenting, or maybe like opening up a loop, or asking them to subscribe, or even just like some giving something that's not directly about what they're here for, then people always drop off. So I've really been thinking about how do I cut out all those moments and just value exactly what they're interested in the whole time, and try to keep them on for as long as I can.
Huh, interesting. Um, and so that's the stick part. And what about the click part? How much would you attribute the title, like the importance of title versus thumbnail?
Um, I mean, it's like a 1-2 punch. I'm starting with the topic, and then
Hmm.
I wonder, can I have a good visual representation of that, and can I have like a simple title that everybody can immediately understand what the video is about. If I can't do that, and what I've been doing recently, I've been spending a lot of time on Google Scholar and just looking at studies,
Hmm.
and trying to, like, if I see a fact that like is not what I thought it was, then it's like, oh, like this, everyone thinks this, but it's actually not true according to the study. This is true. Will this? Can I make a good visual representation of this to make like a great thumbnail? And can I say it very succinctly in like 50 characters to make a really good title? That's something I've been thinking about a lot recently. But yeah, I mean, it's all, the topic is like the number one thing when it comes to getting people to click. So ideally,
Hmm.
your title is not that fancy, right? If it's a great title, you want to kind of just like say, hey, here's what it is, and just kind of get out of the way, and let an interesting topic do the heavy lifting for you.
Wow. Yeah. Um, the whole reason why I keep asking is because I'm trying to get into YouTube right now for this channel actually. Because of what I've noticed is if I push more of these like cringe viral videos, like best AI writers or like I made X amount this month, uh, our podcast actually kind of does well as well. It like kind of lifts up the rest of the channel. Hence why I'm like kind of focusing on that. Um, but yeah, struggling, man. It does not come naturally to me. This is like super super tough.
Dude, I
But
like,
it's fun.
yeah, you were talking about how like you tested AI writers, like you're incredibly transparent about how much money you make and where you make it from. I think that, with all of this AI stuff, I feel like where people are drawn more to credibility, and doing experiments like testing AI writers, just talking about like your real experience is incredible. I think if you lean into the experiment thing, I feel like you do a lot of experiments with like your newsletter,
Yeah, I do.
and like your ads and stuff. And I think if you lean into that, I love that. Like I am, considering starting a personal channel, and I want to do like the exact content that I read that you're doing on Twitter.
Yeah, I think there's a couple people who like really did well with this like case studies or just like experiments, so on and so forth. But yeah, I think I'm not sure if it'll do well on YouTube, but I guess I'll try. And I just have to get off my butt. I have like a ton of ideas. Executing just takes a while because the script doesn't come naturally to me. Filming also takes a while, and then it's with the editor, so everything's fine. But then, yeah, there's like thumbnail. I'm so bad at thumbnails. I've been just like outsourcing and then testing a bunch of Fiverr people, which haven't been great. And
Your thumbnails do kind
titles
of suck.
are, yeah, dude, they suck so bad. I don't even suck so bad.
What goes into a good thumbnail, Jake? And if you were going to hire someone, what do you need to tell them to try and get a good thumbnail back?
I mean, a good thumbnail is, I'm definitely better at titles and ideas than I am at thumbnails, but I've been working really, really hard on thumbnails. But a good thumbnail is clear. It kind of shows, it's emotional. So it has like curiosity, fear, or desire. And it's, like you see it and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, is that true? Or like, oh, this is what I want. Or, oh no, that can't be true. Right. Like if you can make someone say something along those lines and then they read your title and you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely what I thought it was. Like I need to learn more. But I think the biggest thing is like, clarity. Also, especially if you're like a kind of a personal brand, like, like Jacky, I feel like you create such good content and I know how like successful you are, but your thumbnails look a little cheap. So
because I do them myself on Canva. Yeah. Shit's gross, man.
Or you pay $5 for them.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I mean, I just need someone good. So
like,
if there's any listeners who do thumbnails, find me.
Yeah, lighting is huge. At least when I'm like, there's a channel called E3 Rehab. They're physical therapists, and their thumbnails just look so professional. And I think that they're I feel like they're a very professional company, because of the way their thumbnails look. Like, not like before I watch any of their videos, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are legit. But it's just a thumbnail. Like anybody can make a good thumbnail. You don't have to be like a good physical therapist, but that was my original, thought about them, is this is a legit high quality company because of their thumbnails.
Should your thumbnails eventually have almost like a branding quality to them? So people see a thumbnail, they know it's from your channel?
Yeah, I think so. I guess depending on how far you go with the branding, but I think just like a general vibe. I think more you're looking for is a vibe. I believe. I don't know. This is now we're getting a little bit away from my expertise, but if you see a Mr. Beast thumbnail, you know what it is. If I see an E3 Rehab thumbnail, I know that it's from E3 Rehab. And there's a couple of other channels that when you see it, you know that, all right, this is this channel that I like. I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm taking a look at E3 right now. Definitely has like a overarching theme, and it's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
pretty damn good.
They're very clear. They're simple, and just because sometimes like I've got knee pain, and like I see a thumbnail like pain here, and it's like, yes, this is me. And it's just big images, and just clarity. I think that's the biggest thing that people mess up, is they try to be too fancy, and like I feel like it kind of comes from like a place of insecurity, like, oh, my title's not good enough, let me add like parentheses and all these other things, or my thumbnail is too plain. Let me add, all these things in the background, all these logos and fire and money and graph and just all this stuff. And I think when people start doing that, it really comes across as like desperate and cheap, and that they don't know what they're doing, and it's a little bit unclear of like, wait, what is this person trying to get across? And then you just kind of move on because it's not you don't understand what it is, what the thumbnail is instantly.
Yeah, you're completely right. So if you were in my position, what would you do? Because like it's obvious I can't figure this out. Because typically what I do with my other businesses is I try to figure out as hard as possible how to do one thing. Like for example, actually optimize each article for my blogs. Try to figure out what kind of YouTube videos work and what could work, and then I delegate. It's obvious I can't figure this out. This is taking way too long. It's been like months, and like of me like actually doing it. So if you were in my position, it's clear I'm like completely incapable of doing something like this. What would you do in my position?
The easy answer would be just do what Jay Klaus is doing. Like I feel like he is a podcast or a podcaster who's killing it on YouTube. And so I'd see what he's doing. And then I would also, I guess it depends on, are you trying to do more of a podcast, or are you trying to have a bit more of like a personal brand kind of thing?
So the podcast, I'm looking at it. It looks great. But I want to do like both, right? So it'll be like one side will be podcast, the other side will be my like cringe viral wanting to be viral videos, like the best, I don't know, or my experiments, shit like that. That's what I'm trying to go for.
So this is how I feel, and I don't know if this is true. This is, I'm not like overall strategy, but
cool.
I think that every channel should cater to a specific audience. And, like Mr. Beast is just the easiest example. Every single one of his videos, they're all like, 10 to 20 minutes long. They're all a challenge or a spectacle or whatever they are. They're all the same thing. And then when I go to like a podcast channel, like just looking at Jay's here, every single one is 30 to 60 minutes long. They're all an interview, and they're kind of quality done, or like, it's like quality interviews. So I like how like Jay is consistent, Mr. Beast is consistent, the same type of content. As far as like, clips and like shorts and stuff, I would probably look and see what other podcasters are doing. I saw, I think like Chris Wilkes or Chris Will X, I don't know what his name is, but I think he has like his full length podcast and then his clips. But I don't know. I would keep the podcast and your personal brand separate, because the person, from like how I think that YouTube wants people to binge your channel. So I can only binge your channel if, like, if I know what I'm getting. And, the same person, they don't want to watch clips because maybe they already watched your full interview. And they also don't want to watch your personal experiments because because they listen to this as a podcast, and maybe like they're on a walk, or they're driving when they're listening to it. So it's kind of different. So I'm a big fan of having channels be one type of content, for one specific audience. And then, if you decide to do the personal brand stuff, then, start a new channel. But that's what I would do. I would also I'd see if I could talk to like Patty Galloway, or Jamie Rossthorne. I think those are kind of strategists that have more experience in that realm than me. But that is what I'm seeing works. And what I would do is I would keep one channel per type of content.
Cool. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, probably worth trying. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We're trying. And then also, I mean, YouTube is like the easiest channel, or the easiest channel to like see what works. Like you can see views, you can see subscribers, you can see when the video is published. Like, is this channel doing well, or are they not? Like, and if they are doing well, like what are they doing? How long are their videos? Are they different types of videos? what are the formats. So you can go look at all the other podcast channels, see what they're doing, and just copy that.
Yeah, fair. But I guess if you copy other people's podcast channels, because some of them are like it wouldn't make sense if you're, I don't know, someone's super famous and their podcast channel. Like, there's no use in replicating those. Or
Yeah,
would you disagree? Because yeah,
no, for the most part, I agree. But if they're doing something, and if like Lewis Howes, like if his channel is like all if they're all full length interviews, and if Jay Klaus is also doing full length interviews, and if someone else is also doing full length interviews, then it's like maybe that's a signal. But then as you're if you're starting to see mixes where maybe My First Million, I think they have clips on there as well. Then it's like, all right, well, maybe I should try to think about what they're doing. So yeah, but I think I saw somewhere that the guy who runs My First Million, Jonathan Barshoff, I think he said that clips aren't doing anything for them. I think he said it's like all shorts or full length podcasts. Yeah, I think he said that on Twitter a couple weeks ago.
Huh. What do you mean by clips? Do you mean like 10-minute clips from?
Yeah, exactly.
So like what Joe Rogan does, I think, as well, right?
Yeah, like there's Jerry clips or something.
Yeah, exactly.
And then obviously like he's on Spotify, so he can't be on YouTube. But I think I assume that those were separate. JRE clips, and because the people who want to watch a 3-hour video and an 8-hour video or an 8-minute video aren't necessarily the same people, and maybe it's just because they're consuming the content in different places. Maybe if you're sitting on the toilet, you want to watch that 8-minute video, but if you are if you're driving, you want that 3-hour video or that 3-hour podcast playing in the background.
Yeah, fair. Do you do your own thumbnails, or do you have like an editor for that?
I do my own thumbnails. I am mediocre at best at Photoshop. My thumbnails are all stock photos with a little bit of doctoring up. Maybe I'll have like some text or an arrow, or I'll merge I'll cut something out of like one photo and then paste it on top of another one. But yeah, they're all stock photos, and I'm doing them all. There's been like 2 photos that I had a great concept, and I haven't been able to think of that, or haven't been able to I don't have the skills to do it. And I might hire like someone from Fiverr, like someone who actually knows Photoshop. But yeah, right now I'm doing all of them.
Interesting. Huh.
But
this is a pretty complex for me. This just doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense in this realm.
I really think about quality over quantity. So I don't really have a publishing schedule. I try to do every week. Sometimes I do every 2 weeks, sometimes every 3 weeks. I really struggled with my last script. It took me 2 weeks to get something that was actually good.
Whoa. Okay.
And it is 2 weeks. I have 2 other businesses, and I have a newborn baby. So 3 weeks and 2 weeks is different, now post baby life. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get something right instead of just, just kind of putting stuff out there just to get it. Someone said it's easier to get 1 million views on one video than it is on 10 videos. And I really think that's true. So yeah, I'm really just focusing on how do I make one really good video and then move on to the next really good video.
What are some techniques you're using in your script to keep people hooked in? So I'm assuming there's maybe some kind of storytelling philosophy or phrases that you use to kind of keep them in there.
I'm terrible at storytelling. All my videos are listicles, because I don't know if I have the skills to keep someone interested in a point for that long. So just I try to make something I've been doing I got this idea from Creator Hooks, is that extremes work well. So like in YouTube titles, I tried the most expensive AI writer. I tried the cheapest AI writer. That works really well in titles. And what I've been doing with all of my points is saying, all right, this is the weirdest point. This is the craziest point. This is like the stupidest point. So I've been trying to kind of put them in buckets and hype them up a little bit, so that people are excited about each one. I hired George Blackman to kind of tear up my scripts, and he pretty much said, take all of my ands and turn them into buts. Where my title or my script was kind of like, and then, and then, and then, and then. And he said it was just kind of boring, but instead, but that being said, this is actually more true. Or, but, to add a little bit more tension, and to just add a little bit more controversy, and just kind of like stop. All right, and then kind of lean into something else versus just, and then, and then, and then, and then, and then. So that's what I've been thinking. And just trying to make things flow better.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, that's like the simplest tip, but I think it makes a big difference.
Someone posted that South Park creator clip with Trey Parker and Matt Stone about that. Yeah, about turning and then into but, and was it therefore? I think it was. So I think it was using both of those. So having your story flow, this happened, therefore this happened, but then this happened, therefore this happened, but, and then flowing like that. But damn, it's a skill in itself, eh? That's a whole nother thing to learn.
Yeah, I only remember the butts, but
Nice. And you mentioned earlier that you tested out Amazon affiliate, but it drove like nothing. I guess if you're in like the fun fact industry, it's a bit tougher. But I guess, for example, I'm not sure if you saw my backlink experiment video.
I haven't seen
YouTube.
it. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one like drove so much revenue in terms of like affiliates, as well as like my own businesses as well. So, but in itself, I think it drove like over the course of 1 month, and it's just under 10K views right now. I think it was like cumulatively over like 100K US, and like not like affiliate revenue, but like total revenue. So like push to number one got like freaking like 30-40K in sales in the first couple of weeks. Second place got like 15K. Hatred PBN, I think they like absolutely slayed it afterwards. I should do another update on the backlink video, but and like my personal links like fucking flew the next month. So I see like there's a way of doing case studies where you can actually drive significant revenue, but I just can't make them do well on YouTube. I don't know if it's the way I'm filming like the listicles, because I notice people just always skip to the end. Same with the AI writer. They just skip to number one, like a huge mega like mountain at number one. And people don't even care about like number 22 of the AI writers. But yeah, there's like, I don't really analyze it as hard as you though.
So, define it didn't do well on YouTube. Didn't you just tell me it made $100,000?
But not to me. Like,
okay.
I only made like, I made like 20 grand, but still good. But like, you know what I mean?
I only made 20 grand from one video, you know?
No, I just no, like the thing. Okay, fine. Yeah, I need to go touch grass for sure. But I'm just saying the amount of time I spent on one video, like the AI writer one, was fucking crazy. It was like 40 hours of my time. It's like no one else's. It's just my time. I spent so much time on it to get like 3.7K views. I think I made like a total of 8 grand on it, including sponsors and shit. So I guess it's good in like most people's sense, but for me, that's an L, you know? Because I can just focus on other businesses, you know, and probably do better there. So yeah, it's like it's a tough balancing act, but I'm just looking at these views and it's just so weak. So I don't know what I like the next step should do. Should I do like, should I just focus on work? Should I outsource more of the things? You know, it's just I'm kind of venting at this point.
No, I mean, I guess this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I'm a fan of channels having one type of content.
Yeah.
People may or may not want to watch you. I don't know. It doesn't really, even the thumbnail, like it doesn't look like it fits on this channel.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And so testing like
He's
AI
right.
writers,
Yeah.
I like the idea is great. And like, I can easily see you, dude, even if you got like 20,000 views on this, if you get 5 times, like, so maybe now you're making $100,000 yourself on this. And maybe this is now we're getting close to each video being worth it.
Mhm.
And it's also, only in 2 weeks. So maybe, if you have a big library of your experiments and maybe those are all going viral, then I think that now you're getting 20,000 views a video and now you're making, $100,000 a video. Maybe now it's worth it. But that's a great sign, but that's my theory. My theory is that it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit with this. It doesn't, like, yes, like, some channels can have videos go viral, but it's more rare. And I just, I don't know.
Yeah. So I think what you're touching on is something that was discussed before. Like, I used to cut clips of other people's podcasts and they would go viral, right? Like, I would cut Alex Hormozy and that shit would blow up because it's Alex Hormozy. And we would get a lot of subscribers for the channel. But then what we realized is like those subscribers don't even care about our podcast. Because my guess was, my hypothesis was like a certain percentage will always convert into watching your podcast. But I think it actually does more harm than good because these subscribers end up seeing your thumbnail on like browse homepage and they won't click because they're like, who the fuck is this guy, right?
Yeah.
And I guess subscriber click-through rate is like another signal. So I guess if you have like 1% click-through rate on your subscribers, like you're shit out of luck. So I guess, yeah, I mean, what you say makes sense. So it's probably worth testing.
Yeah, I would test it, and I would also look for other examples. Like, all right, is he just like making this stuff up, or like this channel did this, this channel did this, and this channel did this. All right, now I'm going to try it. So I think it's definitely worth testing, and it's just like you said, like if someone watches your channel and then YouTube, shows like a couple of your old videos to that same person, and they don't click anything, then YouTube's like, this isn't keeping people on the platform as much as we thought it would. We're gonna try something else, and maybe something else will keep people on the platform. That's how I think.
What would you do if someone already had, say, for example, this channel was, I don't know, twice the size and it had all the podcasts and the personal videos? How would you then move to separating the two channels? Would you just create a new channel and just keep posting the podcast tag to this one, then posting personal videos on another one? Because then you're kind of splitting it up, or you've got half the podcast on here, then half the things on another channel.
Yeah, I mean, I would try to get a guess of like, all right, this channel, people who watch this channel like the podcasts more than the personal experiments. Therefore, this channel is going to be the podcast channel. New channel is going to be personal channel, personal experiment, personal branding stuff. So that's what I think. And also, something we didn't even talk about is, Jacky, you got so much stuff going on. Is it worth it? I think it's a lot of effort to make, I think it's YouTube is
so
worth
much
it
effort,
often.
dude.
So much effort, but and for most people, it is worth it. Is it worth it for you? I don't know. So maybe it makes sense for you not even to do this stuff. Just keep it on, keep doing all the stuff you're doing, because a YouTube channel is so much effort, and it's not worth it for you to go and spend all that time doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. It started off as an experiment. I just wanted to do experiments and document it. The podcast portions, I enjoy doing. I totally do for free, so it's not like an issue. I just like chatting with like people more knowledgeable than me at like certain topics, like you, for example. That's the main reason. So that is something I'll continue doing for sure. I think it's like these freaking cringe style videos that are like way out of my comfort zone. It's something I probably have to figure out if it's worth doing. um, yeah,
What
you're
if you
right.
turn the
It's
case studies into a podcast instead of a standalone video? Then you get that same length as everything else on here, but it ends up being a case study. So then it fits the theme of the channel. Would that be something that
I mean,
potentially would
like
change it?
James, if you interviewed Jacky about his case study, it's kind of
Yeah.
something like that. That might be
Mhm.
a happy medium. But then it's also like, is it even worth doing the whole case study? Like, I'm sure you guys can just
Yeah.
talk about stuff that Jacky already knows. And maybe you don't have to do an
Yeah.
entire case study and do all that work
Mhm.
because I assume if people like this podcast and they want to hear more from you guys. So it could also be just YouTube chatting about the stuff that you have going on, and that would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot to think about. This is fun to think about also because it's like there's no exact answer and it just involves testing, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was talking to some guy
Interesting.
the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to start this channel, and I want to do this." And then he hired somebody to kind of like run everything, and he had really big dreams, and he didn't want to spend more than an hour a week. And I'm just like, dude, you're not gonna make it. Some people do, but I don't think that. I don't. I think it's a very very small amount of people do, even if they're if they have a track record of success. I think it's just hard. I think YouTube requires a lot of work. That being said, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's very, very rewarding. Like you said, Jacky, you made $20,000 on 3,000 views. That's crazy. And many people
Yeah.
are doing like 100,000 views. Like, and make it's a lot more money, a lot more revenue coming in. But I think it's just, and I kind of feel like there's like you're either going to do like really poorly or it's going to finally click and then you're going to do really well like
Yeah,
there's
that's what I'm hoping for. But
yeah
I don't want to wait forever, man. Dude, I'm getting old. Dude.
yeah I mean
No,
it's
God.
it's so much effort and I don't know. I mean, I was reading your income report this morning. You seem to be doing pretty well. Maybe it's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
worth,
the thing is, you can argue that is it worth me focusing on Twitter as well, right?
It's
But I'm
true.
so glad I did it 2 years ago because
Very
it's like
true.
a compounding thing, right?
Yes.
And all of these opportunities that I've sourced, like all these partnerships that I've talked about in the past with a medical site, with a health site, with like other people, they all came from Twitter, all new
Mhm.
clients. And it's just like, it just keeps stacking, keeps compounding, right? So that's kind of what I'm hoping for YouTube is like one day it just clicks.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But you could also just spend all that money or all that time into, doubling down on Twitter and really just
you're
going
right,
all in.
man. Yeah. But
And the
And I'm
news,
pretty
also,
sure you're doing that. Your Twitter is going hard anyway. How much more could you put into Twitter?
you can. Like
Yeah.
there was like a span of 2 months this year where I went full cringe mode, like listicles, bought retweets from like large accounts. Dude, my like monthly impressions on YouTube was like 10 million. Right now it's like 1 million a month.
What's the going rate for buying retweets?
It was oh god, I don't remember. It was like very cheap. It was like $500 a month, and you get one a day or something like that. And
Oh shit!
it's like pretty much guaranteed you'll go viral every time they give you a retweet.
And I'm
It's
assuming that's based on their follower count, is it?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I even tested like so many accounts. For example, NBA highlights as well. I got like retweets from them, but they have like in their network they have like 4 million followers, and they wouldn't work for niche things. Like if I'm talking about SEO, people are like, "What the hell is this? Like, why is a basketball account?" But if you're talking about like business or like how you make it as a business, and you got a retweet from them, it's like it's over. Like you'll get 1 million views. For example, if you guys remember my tweets about the most popular ads or the most creative ads in history, and it's like IKEA print ad,
Mm-hmm.
and then listicles, so on and so forth. Dude, those do so well.
yeah.
Yeah, but I just feel so dirty doing about it, and I feel like it's burning your existing audience as well because they're like, "What the hell is this?" You know. So I was like, all right, I'm going back to shit posting about case studies. People seem to like it, and like when you niche down, it helps. So, yeah, I'm probably not going to sell my soul on Twitter for a while. I'll try out this YouTube thing, and if one day I can hit like a solid escape velocity, I'll probably stick to it. But probably give myself till the end of the year. But Jake, dude, I've been talking about myself the whole time.
Dude,
I'm so
no,
sorry.
no, I'm
Talk about
I'm
creator
interested.
hooks, dude.
Yeah, this is Jacky's therapy session
Yo,
of the week.
Yeah, men would
No.
start a podcast before going to therapy, man, for real. No, talk to me about creator hooks. So it's your newsletter. How many subs are you at? Do you do like hella revenue there? What's the situation right now?
No,
And how can you get more
dude,
subs from
I
our
mean,
audience?
I feel like our conversation was probably more interesting than me just kind of rattling off stats about my newsletter. I thought it was fun. I mean, I love talking about this stuff. But yeah, no, newsletter closing in on 30,000 subscribers.
Fuck yeah!
Actually,
Nice.
I believe I send a lot your way. You're one of on Sparkloop. You're one of
really?
one of the newsletters that I recommend. But
Appreciate it,
yeah, it's going well. It's really like a kind of a learning in public thing where I just started talking about YouTube titles and then just like kind of like making note, like, all right, this did well, like because of this, and then like just kind of like looking for the patterns. But yeah, I just break down 5 viral YouTube videos every week, and then just kind of looking for patterns every week. So it's very templatized, which makes it really easy for me to write, and it's been awesome. I love it's also like yeah, it's only on Mondays, so my weekends are usually kind of spent writing it. But I love a newsletter, or I love the newsletter because it's not as up and down like like a viral YouTube video, or like you're not as I'm not a slave to the algorithm. Like I'm not scared of Google updates, or of like YouTube like really pushing a video and then all of a sudden it doesn't. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the newsletter business. Not as much dopamine, but more
Zero
reliable
dopamine,
income.
Man. Zero.
Yeah.
I get nothing from it. Yeah. How do you monetize right now? Is it Sparkloop? I guess some of it. Sponsorships. How's that doing? Do you have like 100% fill rate right now?
Yeah. So it's easy because I only send once a week, so 4 or 5 sponsorships. I'm with a Convertkit sponsorship network, so that is pretty good. That makes up like about a third of my revenue. Sponsorships, a little bit from Sparkloop, maybe like 10% from Sparkloop. But so every week I break down 5 videos, and now I have a database of all the titles that I've broken down in the newsletter. So there's like 800 viral YouTube titles and thumbnails in there, and that is my main product. So that makes
sell that like, it's like your pro.
Yeah, that's Creator Hooks Pro. It's not for everybody, but yeah, it's just like a subscription product, and that's been doing very well for me. And I use it. I am the biggest user, as well as being the founder of it, which is great. And since I started my new channel, I've realized that there are some limitations in it, which is great because now I just hired a developer to make it a lot better. So it's this whole like newsletter and like me starting my own YouTube channel, I'm just like serving myself, and thankfully other people are also getting benefited from it. But my new YouTube channel is almost making more than Creator Hooks. So
whoa,
that's exciting.
All right.
I'm very excited about that.
Congrats. Yeah, a couple of things I want to ask about. I guess one is what's the going rate for YouTube channels? Is there like a multiple? Is there a marketplace? Can you even sell a YouTube channel? I'm sure you can if it's faceless, right?
Yeah, I believe very similar to like niche websites, like 30, 40 times monthly revenue, or 3 times annual revenue.
Nice.
I believe it's there, and especially if it's a faceless channel, I'm assuming those are much easier to sell, since you can't sell someone's personal personality.
Brand, right?
So, but yeah, I think that's what I'm hoping. I hope I'll sell the new channel in a couple months and then get back to focusing on creator hooks.
Got it. And next up is the Convertkit program that
The
where they
sponsorship
help you
network.
sell it, right? Yo, they're kind of savage about it. They require exclusivity, and I told them to like fuck off. That is crazy. I would never do that. I would rather die. So I told them I'll give them like an allocated spot every week. So instead of I don't know, selling like if my newsletter goes out 3 times a week, they can get like the Wednesday or something like that.
Yeah,
where they can get the they take like 10 years to get back to me, so we're still talking right now. It's not 10 years, it's exactly 10 days to get back to me every time. So I don't know like what the heck's going on with at Convertkit, but yeah, struggling with it right now.
But they want exclusive sponsorship on the newsletter, do they?
Exactly.
But are they willing to pay exclusive rates?
No, dude, they're not paying shit. They're like they'll like sell it for you, and then on selling they keep 30%. That's like their business model.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's your fill rate on that? Is it like 100%? Like they fill everything for you?
Yeah, it's 100% for now.
Nice.
And it took me maybe like 2 months before it's like, all right, cool, we're going to do this, versus we are doing this now. So there was a bit of a run rate and a bit of a time to get up and running, but I'm not a big sponsorship guy. I have my own product, and
true.
If ever like Convertkit doesn't have an ad, I'm just going to plug in my own product, and that'll be awesome, because then I'll get extra, I'll make more sales than normal. So how my product or how my newsletter is like intro, PS, here's like a little sales blurb for Creator Hooks Pro, and there's like video 1, video 2, ad, and then video 3, 4, and the rest of the newsletter. So I always have like a 1-sentence pitch, and then about a third of the way down is the sponsorship slot. So when they don't have sponsorships for me, it's been a couple months now, I took away my little like 1-sentence blurb in the intro, and I only put it in like down a little bit, and that boosted sales that week because it was different. Like people are used to always seeing that 1-sentence blurb, and then when it wasn't there, they're like, oh, this is weird. So then they saw like the big ad, and then the next week it was there, and I got more sales then because it was like it wasn't normal. So yeah, if I don't get sponsorships, I don't care, because my own products, I get recurring revenue from that. So that's made life a lot easier for me.
Gotcha. And you charge people recurring revenue on like a database of like thumbnails, I think, right?
Yeah, mostly titles, but titles and
thumbnails. Great product. Selling data is like amazing product. Any other offerings? Like, is there a community around it, or is it just like an Airtable?
It actually started as just an Airtable. It
Nice.
was an Airtable embedded in a Thinkific page, and then I realized that was not the best way to sell it, and so I switched. And that was like 3 weeks after launch, and then I lost like half the people that signed up on launch day. So that was great. Because I didn't really know what I was doing. It wasn't that much money, but it still sucked.
Yeah.
And now I'm working with a guy who's building it in Bubble. But yeah, so it's mostly a database. We're going to have a title generator, based off of the viral titles, and kind of combine that with OpenAI. So that should be good. Every month I send out like a little breakdown of like kind of what I'm noticing, what I'm seeing, working on YouTube, so that, it's not like community aspect. But yeah, I think that has been helping, just, helping people, get a little bit more out of it and a little bit more of a reason to stay. But yeah, I've really been thinking about how do I decrease churn. And that's been like the one question that's been taking up my mind recently.
Yeah, man, dude, seems obvious to me. Just throw them into a Slack or Discord or WhatsApp group.
I
have a community
hate
manager?
communities. I mean, I
Really?
guess I would. Yeah. So I did a live course like a year ago actually, and there's a community and like people were giving bad advice, and I'm like, no,
Oh yeah, they do that.
I don't, I don't want this. I don't want this. I'm the worst. Like even with emails, it takes me like a full day to like get back to an email, and I overthink it. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could get a community manager, and that makes a lot of sense. But right
Yeah.
now, I'm optimizing for lean, less time, spend more time with a family, not have to deal with communities.
Fair play. Fair play. All right. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I guess we better wrap up. Jake Thomas, I'm sorry. I really just kind of talked about myself today.
No, I loved it. Loved it.
It was fun though. I think it was fun because we went through like each aspect of like, at least I had to justify everything. So that was interesting.
Well, I feel like it was a conversation, not just like,
yeah,
not just a boring interview.
perfect. So how much is Creator Hooks Pro, and where can people sign up?
It's currently 19, but it'll probably be 29 next
19.
month.
That's a steal. That's actually a steal.
It
Okay,
is.
fair enough.
I know.
We'll
So
link
yeah,
it down below.
it'll probably be 29. It'll probably be 29 when people are, depending on when this is published, it'll be 29, most likely. And if it's not, then hurry up and sign up now and don't cancel.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that seems kind of cheap to me.
I agree.
It's like you gotta crank that up. So we're not doing subscription for ants here.
What did you expect me to say?
Dude, at least
49.
49 probably. If there's a SaaS aspect, so you have a generator, I'm guessing that's coming out. If there's a community, you can crank that even higher. So yeah, because I'm kind of doing research for my own community right now, seeing what we can do. Yeah, but Sampar, I guess you follow My First Million. Sampar always says crank that shit higher. None of that like 1 to 2K a year thing. Like crank it up to like 10K if anything a year, and go from there. But yeah, I think
I think I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna start with 29, might scoot up to 39, 49, and then some of the stuff that we're adding. I'm talking to the developer. He's like, yeah, so we could do this and we could do this, and he's like blowing my mind. So that'll be cool. So yeah, it should be it'll be a pretty sweet product. And then I'll feel better at charging more money.
Perfect. Where else can people find you?
So creatorhooks.com for the newsletter. It's free, goes out every Monday. And then on Twitter at @JThomas__. You can also just search Jake Thomas and you'll see a guy with a beard and a golden retriever. And that's me.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today. It was fun chatting, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jacky.
Cheers, Jake.
All right.
Thanks, Jake.